Hello YouTube, here's the Boeing 777-300ER in 1/200 scale from Hasegawa. I chose to use the Hello Kitty Shining Star livery from EVA Air. I don't know a single thing about Hello Kitty, but it's a colorful plane and it seemed like fun. Plus I flew on EVA Air one time, really liked it, so I wanted to build one of their planes. I don't like open windows on airliners, so I fill them in with putty, and I start by adding a backing of plastic so the putty doesn't just fall through. The panel lines were mostly protected with tape while I was sanding, but some areas needed a little bit of rescribing afterwards. Try to remove the putty from the panel lines with your scriber before it has a chance to dry. I'll lightly spray burnt iron over the aluminum for some color variation on the exhaust. I'm dry brushing the edges of the fan blades, then I'll use a black wash to show a little more depth on the blades and to cover the areas where I dry brushed a little too much aluminum. This will be a mask for the aluminum leading edge on the engines. I'll backmask the section which was already painted with all clad. Since it's a curved surface, using a straight piece of tape won't work, so I need the rotary cutter for a curved edge. This is what it looks like after the first coat of All-Clad on the leading wing edge. It's not fully saturated, but I'll build the color up with multiple thin coats. Before I paint the fuselage white, I thoroughly clean the airbrush. If it's not clean, tiny flecks of darker colored paint will dot the surface of the white aircraft. There's the same issue when you're clear coating at the end, and it's even more noticeable then, so it's critical to have a clean brush. Instead of using the green decal for the tail, I will cut out the compass and then paint the tail green. I'll need to keep the area where the compass goes white, so I'm cutting out a mask for that. The paintbrush slipped out of my hands, so I got to respray the nose of the plane white again. The decals were very thin and very good quality, but they aren't die cut, so you must cut them out close to the images. There was a lot of microset used while positioning the larger decals, and then I used my finger and cotton swabs to get them into position. I used the panel lines on the doors of the fuselage to set the decals in the correct location. I avoided cutting the windows into smaller pieces, but in some instances I cut off other sections to make the overall decal smaller and easier to work with. Finally, I sealed all the decals with microsol and then finished the kit out with a clear coat of Revive It, panel line accents, and then a final clear coat on top of that.